Hey everyone, welcome back to Tactical Magic. This is Molly Mandelberg, your host, and I am super blessed to have one of my good friends and mentors here with me on the line today. And I can't rave about her business enough. I honestly believe that I wouldn't be the person that I am today if I hadn't gone through Sharla Jacobs and Jesse Corin's Thrive Academy. Someday we might have Jesse on the show, but if you haven't already caught Sharla's past episode, it is somewhere in Tactical Magic. Definitely check it out. And we'll pause for just a second and be right back. It's not just about mastering technology. It's not just about brand or messaging. It's not just about making more money. It's about showing up in a big way so your people can find you. This is about bringing your most wild and authentic self into the hustle and grind. Welcome to Tactical Magic, a business strategies podcast for the warrior goddess entrepreneur. Okay, so Sharla Jacobs, with her husband and business partner, Jesse Corin, has been called the #1 source for turning coaches and holistic practitioners into six-figure transformational leaders. In the past 16 plus years, Thrive Academy members have earned hundreds of millions of dollars collectively. And on the surface, it seems like they're just teaching practical skills and templates to coaches and holistic practitioners so they can attract more clients and have their first $10,000 month. However, what they're best known for is providing deeply transformational experiences for people who know that they've also got to work on their inner game if they want to create a thriving business. So whether you want a thriving private practice or you want to step into transformational leadership, Thrive Academy is absolutely the place to be. I have sent so many of my dear friends to Thrive to get what I got out of it. And I will say that it absolutely is the nitty-gritty business acumen that a new coach or holistic practitioner needs to find their niche, to learn how to talk about what they do, to figure out their pricing, to begin up leveling into speaking gigs and online courses and home study programs. And it's also the community and the emotional support that allows us to sort of break out of our own shell so that we can become those transformational leaders that we're meant to become. And I very much, with my whole heart, believe that I grew into the leader that I am now because of the support system that Thrive has created. So welcome, Sharla. So happy to have you here.
Thank you so much for having me, Molly. I'm so delighted to be here with you again.
Yes, I'm so delighted too. So last time we talked a little bit about how you sort of started Thrive and how you overcame whatever you needed to overcome as an entrepreneur to step into the level of leadership that you're at now. I'm curious, how do you see it going for most people who come to Thrive? Because I know when I first showed up, I was sort of in this like shell of not quite ready to step into my own as a leader, kind of afraid. What do you see as that normal trajectory when people come to Thrive and then what they grow into?
Yeah, it's a great question. And I think when we really step back and look at it, the reality is everybody's a unique individual and everybody starts where they're at. But I see people on this spectrum from just starting out, no confidence, still dealing with the, oh my God, what am I doing? What does my business look like? Having no vision, really not understanding business, all the way to people who've been in business for years and have some things going on for them, but it's not all really quite falling into place and they just haven't got to the level that they want. Maybe they've been at it a few years even, and they just can't bust past the $6,000 or $7,000 a month mark. So everywhere from just starting out to like 6,000 or 7,000 a month. And along that spectrum, there are a lot of different types of visions and business models that people want to have. Some people come in and they just want to have a thriving private practice. They have a vision to be working deeply one-on-one with people, doing the work they love. They don't have any ideas about wanting to be a leader, groups or online courses or writing a book or speaking or any of that. And then others come in knowing that's what they want. No matter where they start, they might even have never had a private client, but they still know they want to end up working with groups, whether that's courses, group programs, or speaking. And, we have programs that take people step by step through all those processes, no matter where they are.
Yeah, that's one of the things that I love most is that you guys take all of our desires and have made really easy to follow systems for each of those different sort of business models. Like if you want to become a speaker, a six-figure speaker, get paid from the stage, show up and have, 50, hundreds, however many people in an audience that you get to speak to at a time. And you want to do that masterfully, where you actually make a difference in people's lives during that talk and also invite them to something greater. It's a refined art to make an offer and not feel like a salesy, like pitchy kind of person. But
Right.
that's one of the things that I love so much about Thrive is how heart-centered you and Jesse are, and how heart-centered all the people I've met through the Thrive Academy are, that were desperately wanting to do business from a place of integrity and not from a place of pushiness or desperation. And I know, at least for me early on, and I know a lot of other thrivers and people in general, when you start out your business, it is kind of desperate. You want this thing that's your beautiful baby to be the thing that makes you money. And there's this like need and desire there that isn't always necessarily met, because there's also got to be this exploration phase. And so some people come to Thrive and just immediately start making more money. And I definitely had a huge shift in my income just in that first month that I started doing client attraction mastery. And then there's the potential for just exponential growth once you get these systems into your bones and start actually mastering the skill of speaking about what you do from a place of integrity, that you become this invitation for your people. And it's so beautiful. I've watched so many of my good friends that I started Thrive with have those $10,000 months, myself included. And the confidence that comes from that is just potent. It's easier to own who you are and what you do once you've learned how to speak about it successfully, and once you've seen the results that come from doing it from a place of integrity. So it's really amazing, the tools that you guys have. So tell us a little bit more about Six Figure Speaker. And I think we talked about client attraction mastery before, but client attraction mastery is basically how to start talking about what you do and enrolling clients through free consults as a repeatable process that you master. So tell us more about Six Figure Speaker and get leverage.
Well, I have to tell you, when you started talking about your own journey, Molly, I thought like, oh, wouldn't that be fun to actually walk through like the experience that you had, like who you were when you first came to Thrive, because who you are now is not the same woman who
Not
walked
the
in
same
the
woman
door,
at all. No, yeah.
And how cool it would be, because you have this level of mastery and confidence with all of our systems. Like, and I don't even think you implemented everything that we teach. That you like are such a shining example of the transformation that can happen, because you are serving people, you are masterful in your client attraction work, you're masterful in your heart selling, you're masterful in the way that you do your heart-based marketing, and you deliver your group programs and your services, and you're an amazing speaker, and all of that, like that was not there when you came. So it's been pretty fun to watch your journey. You
Yeah.
keep talking about your friends, but I'm like, but your story is
I'm
so
definitely
interesting.
doing it and using it for sure. And yeah, I will say when I came to Thrive, I was making between $100 and $500 a month in my business. I was scraping to get by. I was trying to get part-time work doing other things, but that kept not working out. And I think that was the universe being like, focus on your business. So I focused on my business, and I'm so like unendingly grateful for tools that are simple to follow, that if you just learn them, and I knew this the moment I walked in the door, if I just keep showing up to this, I will get these tools into my bones, these massive stack of templates. I will memorize them and learn them. And that's the kind of person I am. I will study the heck out of something if I want to be good at it. And they work. The templates work. They're a guide. They're not God. There's always room for personalization and using your own words and your own stories. But once you have a system to follow, it becomes really almost simple to just follow through with that system. And I'm now, 6 or 7 years into my business, and I will forget to use the template sometimes. I'll just be like, oh, I'm just having a conversation with a friend. And then I get off the phone and it wasn't a full yes. And I'm like, oh, why didn't I use this tool that I know works so well? And it just keeps bringing me back to the templates work. And that's the beauty of what you guys have created. So yeah, it some people pop the first month and have a $10,000 month right away. And some people take a few more months. It took me a couple more months than I wanted it to, but I had that first $10,000 month and many since then, and a $20,000 month and a couple since then. And that is possible because, like you said, I've mastered the things that I know work, and I've put programs and courses out there, and I've learned to broadcast myself in such a way that I feel authentic and I also feel like I know what I'm doing. And those two in combination allow us to attract our people like magnets. So yeah,
I love
I,
it. Love it.
yeah. And I knew early on that I was terrified of being on a microphone. I used to cry even thinking about raising my hand to get on the microphone. And now I can't get enough mic time. I mean, I have 2 podcasts now because I just love the sound of my own voice, I
I
guess.
love it.
Yeah.
I
So
love it. You have so
there,
much to share.
yeah, amazing programs that do get you from where you are now to mastering a skill that you want to be good at that will make your business succeed.
I love it. I
Yeah.
love it. Yeah, I love hearing these stories because that's what's really inspiring. And one of the things I want to point out that's really interesting is that when I kind of look at the way you kind of look at, okay, how many business coaches and mentors are out there, and there's a lot of like bright shiny objects, right? Like, well, do this one, like just learn how to do Instagram and then you'll be fine. And then you get into the back end program and it's pretty sparse, right? Like what they're actually going into in depth is not really what they need. So people are spending and investing in all of these programs that then they don't get results. And part of why they don't get results is you have to really go back to the basics. You have to go back to first finding the client attraction systems that really work for you, that you can do, that you don't have to translate from hard selling to heart selling is what we call it. Mm-hmm. That finding your leverage systems that really work for you, where you don't feel like you're going crazy. I always say, like, let's find the simplest method to get you there. And then some people really speed up their progress by working with someone like you, Molly, where you can actually help them with their writing and even, I don't know if you're still doing copywriting, but I know you have so much to share, to speed up the process and get people up and running with their technology. You'd specifically asked about speaking. And so one of the things when we think about leverage, which is like one of the critical keys to attract clients without struggle and to step into leadership. And really, if you have a vision to be a transformational leader, speaking is something that you have to master. And when we think about leverage, the definition of leverage is to use something to maximum advantage, right? So there are a couple different kinds of leverage. We could talk about leveraged client attraction efforts, and we could also talk about leveraging your business as like the way you deliver your service. I think we'll focus on leverage client attraction efforts because you asked about speaking. And to me, like, what does it mean to be a 6-figure speaker? Well, I would love for anybody here listening to be able to go get a speaking gig. Like, let's say you could speak to a group of 10 people once a month. And out of those 10 people, you could get 2 new clients and get some referrals, and you could have a $10,000 a month business with that. And that's not going to happen right out of the gate. And I'm not going to pretend that that's easy, because there are certain skills and templates that you had talked about, Molly, that you need to learn in order to be successful with that. But I just want you to imagine that you could do that as your business model. And what if that group you were speaking to, somebody else filled the room? So you have this leverage where you have a conversation with somebody who hosts an event, hosts a podcast, hosts a meetup. I mean, depending on where you are in the world, you could be online or, in person. But let's say somebody else fills the room with 20 people, and you have a lot more leverage being the speaker than you would if you were just like everybody else at the event, even if it's a Zoom event with a networking, right? So the trick here is you still have to master the what we call heart selling, which is our 5 elements of heart selling system. Again, we talked about that during the last podcast. But instead of having a conversation with 20 individual potential clients, now you're having the heart selling conversation with the person who's hosting that event. And the truth is, and Molly, you could probably attest to this, it's easier to have a conversation with the person who hosts the event. Like once you get to that point where you're inviting people or you're asking if you might be able to be a speaker there, it's actually easier to have that conversation than it is to have a conversation with a potential client. Mm-hmm. And then there's another cool point of leverage, that if you design your talk in a way that you are giving massive value and you're also moving the right people closer to you, yes, like you're designing in a way where the right people feel you and they get who you are and how your values align and how what you have to offer is a good match for them, that you can actually get them the results. those conversations in the quote unquote back of the room, whatever the back of the room looks like, are so much easier than if you were to just like meet somebody like straight at a party.
Yeah.
Because you're so well positioned. You're positioned as the expert. So if you can do your talk and you can have that lead to your invitation for whatever the next step is, in most cases, we're going to recommend that you invite people to a free or low cost consultation where you can then have a deeper conversation about becoming a client. But if you can do that, then, and you're offering a package of sessions or a group program or a course or some kind of way of delivering your services, just if we did the math, say you're speaking to 20 people, let's say 8 of them sign up for your free or low cost consultation and you get 5 new clients and your package is $1,000, that's $5,000 from one speaking gig. If you have your own event where you have people coming and repeat those results, that's a $10,000 a month. But here's the cool thing, as time goes on and you become more confident in what you are offering and the results that you can help people get, you can raise your rates. And we have clients that are easily selling $5,000 packages. So
yeah, I am.
So a speaking gig with 10 people could result in 2 clients at 5,000, and that's at $10,000 a month in sales, and not including all the money you already had coming in. Mm-hmm. So this is one of my favorite leverage client attraction efforts, is to speak to groups. It's been called the highest paid profession. And, personally, Jesse and I have brought in about $25 million over the last 17 years speaking to groups. And our members have made tens of millions of dollars collectively speaking to groups. So there's just so much that I could say about it, but and maybe Molly, you might even share some. You're just saying, yeah, that's what I'm doing. I'm doing a 5,000 package. Like, tell us about some speaking that you've done and how that's worked out for you.
Well, I'll say you don't have to speak to a room of 20 people to get results either. Some people think, oh gosh, like I thought I was going to have 20 people at my workshop and only 4 came. That doesn't mean that you can't enroll all 4 of them in whatever that next step offer is. And also, the more that you speak to rooms like that, the more you get connected into your communities as a speaker, the more of those opportunities show up, the more positioning you have to talk to the next event host. And just the more you start growing your audience, which sort of brings us back to the leverage thing. There are lots of opportunities to reconnect with people if they weren't a yes right now. And being someone who continues being on stage, especially if you live in one place, I travel nomadically, but there are certain communities, for example, in Portland, where I'm from, that people get to know you over time because you keep offering this value, keep showing up as a speaker at different networking events or at different speaking engagements that they show up to for inspiration. That there's also this tipping point thing that happens when you show up as a speaker, that eventually more people get to know you and that it continues being this like rolling incline thing, this momentum that you build. Yeah.
Absolutely. There are a couple of things I want to say about that. One, we have a template that we actually got from another Thriver called the Stay Connected form. And it's a template where at the end of your talk, you have people actually checking boxes like, yeah, I want to get this free report or whatever, get on your email list. I know somebody where you could speak. I would love to have a free consultation with you. Mm-hmm. And this is a way that you can, just those 3 things, that you can have somebody stay in your world and get more known as a speaker and get more referrals for additional speaking gigs. So it's really like you get the momentum going and you keep the momentum going.
Yeah.
So that is super powerful. And it also reminds me of just really being in community, because once you start speaking, there are going to be certain events that they have hosts on a regular basis. And let's say they have an event every month or every other month. They're probably only going to have you come speak there once a year. But if you are connected in community, and this is what I love about Thrive, is being connected with other Thrivers, you can introduce your Thrive friends to each other. Like, you can be in a pod of speakers and introduce people to each other. And then you're helping out friends, they're helping out you. If you trust that the speaker you're introducing to the host is going to be awesome because they know the templates, then you're adding value for the host. They want to have you back. And I've seen this happen where Like it's almost like you create this pod of like business friends that you love deeply, that you support each other, and you're just really super connected and using your connections to help each other and creating these win-wins all over the place. So
Yeah.
that's a fun thing about templates and community.
It is. It is. And I've had that experience too. Like I spoke at my friend Audra's retreat, and then one of the other speakers there was leading an event. And because I met him as a speaker there, I got to speak at his event. So it is this rolling thing that once you start doing it, it starts to become easier to get more speaking gigs and opportunities. And I'll just highlight also, because I want us to talk about leverage, that stay connected form is an opportunity to get people on your email list. And I'm a really big proponent for building your email list as a way to support yourself in your business. And once those people are on your list, you can ask if anybody wants to come to a workshop if you're somewhere. But I also, when I first went out for the big trip, the first big trip in my van, I sent an email out to my list and said, hey, here's my general trajectory. If anybody wants me to stop by for a workshop or Access Consciousness Bars class, let me know and I'll add your stop to my big trip. And so then my road trip became a speaking tour, and I got to lead workshops in like Toronto and Denver, and I had a class in Cincinnati and all these other places because I had built that email list. I had started nurturing that audience, that my trip became a speaking tour. So you can also create your own workshops, and sometimes people who are just your raving fans want to help you facilitate that opportunity for you too. So that's just something fun. But let's talk about leverage, because there's a lot of different ways to do leverage, and I talk about them often. But you guys have beautiful ways of sharing them too. So you told us what leverage means, and what are some ways that practitioners tend to use those as business models?
Yeah, well, we talked about, speaking is one way to get leverage in your client attraction efforts, right, in your marketing.
Yeah.
And having an email list is one of those ways that you can have leverage. I also mentioned having a free gift that you can give to people. That's a way to get leverage. Sometimes it sounds really easy, but the reality is that there is writing involved and there is technology involved, and those can stop people. But if you're just willing to stay on the train and like stick with it and just take the steps and do the work, you keep creating momentum. I will tell you that for me, just free gift, for example, we have about 10 that I can, over the years that have just been developed or revamped, that are super easy. And it just like I churn them out like super, super easy because I've had the practice. The very first one took a long time, but after that, it becomes a lot easier.
Yes.
So you build these skills and then you just get to rinse and repeat. And that's what's really exciting. So then we've talked about leveraging your marketing and just given some tips there, but how about leveraging the way you deliver your services? So the old paradigm is trading time for dollars, right? Like you deliver a session and you get paid however much you charge for that session. But the new paradigm and the leverage paradigm is to trade value for dollars. So just for example, there's a lot more value that comes from being in a group program because of the community that gets created. So you can get leverage by working with groups instead of working with people one-on-one, say, for example, at a live event or a high-end group program. So when you trade value for money, it allows you to make more money, less work eventually. It does take some work to launch it and to help more people. And that's really where you get leverage in how you deliver value to your clients. A quick little idea for you here, a great way to make a transition is in your group program, you can still have some one-on-one time with your clients. Like you have like a high-end program, maybe you even have two levels. One level they get just the group work, and another level they get private work with you, and that actually helps you develop your program further. The first two times I led my very first group program, I coached all of the people, all the women individually. It was a women's leadership program, and I got to learn and understand my people very deeply. I understood like what they were struggling with, what they were suffering with, and it actually helped me create the program. Like as I went, I got to do a better job. Like I had an outline of what I thought that we needed to do based on what people were telling me. But as we went, I got to go deeper and deliver even more value because not only was I coaching them through some of the challenges that they were having, I was understanding what they needed next. And it helped me to deliver a better program. And then when I ran it the second time and the third time, it just got better and better because I was responding to what people said they wanted and what they were actually dealing with, as opposed to what I thought they needed in my own head. So that's a really powerful way to get leverage and to make that transition from just one-on-one into groups, is to combine and do both things.
Yeah. That's also, I just want to highlight the leveraging aspect of your income that happens there too, because when you're what I call the time for money merry-go-round, when you're seeing clients just one-on-one, you have to spend time to make money. That's how the one-on-one model really operates. And when you start doing leverage, for example, group programs, or putting the work in to create a home study course and sell it successfully, that you're now out of that time for money merry-go-round in a way. You're now serving one to many instead of one to one. And you're capable of exponentially increasing, I mean, hopefully, if you put the work in, to increasing your income beyond what you thought was possible, because you're no longer having to sit there for an hour for each person. You get to do it in a group setting, or you get to do it without showing up. And I have to say, it's easier when I'm actively launching something than my home study courses just selling on their own. But the feeling that you get when you wake up and you realize that emails have come in because people have been buying stuff, and you didn't have to do a consult for it, and you don't have to deliver anything because they've already received it. There's nothing like that feeling. I was dancing to my favorite band on Saturday at the Greek Theater in Berkeley. String Cheese Incident, if you're curious, is my favorite band. And an email came in and somebody enrolled in a program that I'm launching. And that just feels like you have so much gratitude for your past self who bothered to set that up and do that work and build that momentum, because that means you get to live your life. You get to have time freedom. You get to start having more financial freedom. And it's worth taking the time to set it up. And it's absolutely worth getting the mentorship to help you set it up right the first time. Because what I had been doing before I even joined Thrive was just watching YouTube videos and trying to set things up on my own, and going nuts because I was 16 tabs deep trying to understand what I was actually trying to do, and I didn't know how to do it yet. And there is support out there, and it's okay to learn from people who have gone before you. So get mentorship. Sharla and Jesse are amazing at helping with these so many elements of this, but especially how to attract clients successfully, how to leverage your business without going crazy, and how to speak from the stage and make an invitation that actually works, that invites people into your business. And the most amazing part is you can come to a 3-day event with Jesse and Sharla and learn all about this stuff in detail and get super inspired. I mean, that 3-day event alone is a life-changing weekend. And it was a huge turning point in my own life when I showed up to it. Would you tell us more about the summit?
You bet. You bet. Yeah. So if you're sitting here and you really feel that you are a transformational leader, or you just know you want to have a thriving private practice, we've talked a little bit about leverage and speaking and some of those things, but there are really several keys, things that you really need to master so you can be booking 5 to 10 more clients into your coaching or holistic business. And, no matter where you are in your business, I imagine there's something greater waiting to open up for you in your life and your business. And when you really take a moment to tune into your truth, your ideal clients are out there, they're waiting for you, and that you are the answer to their prayers. You may not even fully get what you're doing yet. Like, what is it that you want to do? Or maybe you do, maybe you're crystal clear. And the truth is that if you want a thriving and sustainable business, you have to master client attraction. You have to master heart selling. You could probably get away without mastering leverage if you just want to have one-on-one clients and that's your vision. But if you want to be working with groups and you want to be speaking to groups, you've got to master some of those leverage principles as well. And unfortunately, I've met a ton of coaches and holistic practitioners who struggle to get those things because they are just trying to learn from YouTube videos, because they are just learning from free reports, because they are trying to figure it out on their own, or worse, like trying to get advice from their friends who don't know what they're doing either. And that's why it is so important to find a mentor, a business coach, somebody who's been where you've been, who has a proven track record, who has proven success stories that can support you to book 5 to 10 more clients than you are right now. If you're starting from zero, to have that first client, right? Like, let's get you first to like 2,000 a month, and then let's get you to 3,000, then let's get you to 5, 6, let's get you to 10,000 a month. That's the goal, but we have to start where you're at. And we don't want you to be in a situation where you're diminishing your value and having to get a job because you just can't figure out how to get clients. And so, what if you could master the skills to attract clients in a heartfelt and high integrity way, and finally make really great money as you change the lives of dozens, if not hundreds, and for some of you listening, thousands of people, like Honey Chang. And she actually heard about the summit while she was living in Singapore, and she was really inspired. She decided to accept the adventure and fly in to attend the summit. And just a few months later, she earned $40,000 within 3 months as she launched her first group program. And it's stories like these, stories like yours, Molly, and so many of your friends that have been in Thrive, that really have us be so excited to continue to offer our signature event. It's the Online Client Attraction Summit. It's a 3-day live online event taught exclusively by me and my husband. And we've really created this as the ultimate immersion into the skills of client attraction. So at the summit, you will discover the exact strategies you need to attract enough clients to make $10,000 or more each month. During the summit, basically, we're going to go through all the critical keys to attract clients without struggle. You will get crystal clear on your vision. So you know exactly what you want your business to look like. So you magnetize your ideal clients to you. We will do some deep transformational work to help you move through the belief that is most sabotaging your success, that's keeping you from getting clients. Listen, everybody has limiting beliefs, no matter what level you're at. And there is a limiting belief that is like the thing that is it's like the next thing. If you have that breakthrough, that is going to support you to get to the next level. And, just know that we need to have that breakthrough, because there's this saying, if you keep doing what you've always been doing, you're going to get the results you've always been getting, right? And those results are partly mental. They're partly an emotional game. I used to be a rock climber before I had kids. And they used to say rock climbing was 90% mental and only 10% physical. And it was like, what? And then, being up there and really getting like, oh my God, I'm there. And I'm like freaking myself out. If you're freaking yourself out when you were trying to do your marketing and enrollment work, we got to have some shifts in those beliefs. The next key is we need to make your what do you do statement clear and compelling. So people immediately want to work with you and know exactly who to refer to you. If you are not answering the question, who do you work with? What result do you help them get? And why should people work with you? If you're not answering those 3 questions when you answer what you do, and you're not doing it in like 2 sentences, so the people are like, wow, that is something that we need to work on. I will tell you a big mistake that a lot of coaches and holistic practitioners make is they try to fit like all encompassing of like what they do into like 1 sentence. And you try to like describe the process of the transformational work. It's not possible to describe all of who you are and the deep transformation that you're going to have people get in a couple of sentences. Your what do you do statement is just a conversation starter. So we want to give you a template for how to talk about what you do. And once you get this template, your what do you do statement will be better than like 85 to 90% of the other coaches and holistic practitioners out there. Now, once you share what you do and people start being interested in wanting to continue the conversation, then we need to have a heart-based conversation where everybody feels good about the conversation and your ideal client is likely to say yes if it's a good match. So we want to get the 5 elements of heart selling in your bones so clients happily talk themselves into working with you. Then we get to the point in the conversation where someone says, how much do you charge, right? And so we want you to feel great about how much you charge. At the summit, we've taken polls and 95% of the attendees feel so confident after this process that they give themselves a raise. And then, when you are talking about charging for your services, people will have concerns. One of them being, money is an issue. They're wondering if it's worth it. And we want to share the 3 magic questions to turn I can't afford it into a yes when it's a good match. And this alone could double your income like it did for Abiola Oladoke. She is a clinical practitioner, does lots of stuff. We call her a DLOS. And when she came to the summit, she was like really stuck at this certain level. She was actually out there talking to a lot of people. She was going to networking events. She could not get past $7,000 a month. And when she came to the summit, just getting like these questions alone, she went out and had a $15,000 a week. So I'm excited to share this with you. You'll also discover our 3 proven systems to bring in more clients. Number 1 is the Attract All the Clients You Want system, where you'll discover the best ways to find your ideal clients, including how to tuck programs and online courses, as well as leverage in your marketing. We'll go deeper in that during the summit. And number 3 is how to make thousands of dollars every time you speak to a group, plus how to step into your leadership so you can do the work you love and serve people more deeply. So in the past 17 years, over 10,000 people have come to the Client Attraction Summit, most of them in person. And now the Client Attraction Summit is available online, so you don't even have to travel away from your own home to join us. And if you look at many of the transformational leaders of today who are earning 6 and 7 figures, Molly being one of them, you will find that many of them launch their business at the Client Attraction Summit. And I will say this, while we do have a lot of members who, we have some of our members who have earned millions in their business. We can't promise that. However, we have many of our members who are consistently earning $8,000 to $15,000 on a regular basis every month. So, we want you to be able to attract as many clients as you want, earn a great living, do the work you love, and transform people's lives. And this is really like what the Client Attraction Summit is about. We have friends and colleagues that charge $5,000 for an event of this caliber, and if it's worth it, because if you can invest $5,000 and earn $10,000 every month after using what you learn, you've made a great investment. And on the Thrive website, tickets are $1,497, so about $1,500. And many people have happily paid that amount to attend, but we want to do something special for you because you are here as a part of Molly's online community. And I'll say this, that over the past year, we've seen people desperately trying to transition to their own business or even just survive in this new world that we're living in. And that's why we've decided that it's our duty to serve and help as many people as possible and learn the skills that you truly need to thrive in your business. So we've got something super special for you. Our invitation to you is to come to the Client Attraction Summit on full scholarship. So we want to invite you to come as our guest because of your relationship here with Molly. So all you have to do to learn more and claim your scholarship is to go to giftfromthrive.com/wildhearts. So giftfromthrive.com/wildhearts. Molly, I imagine you'll put that in the show notes somewhere.
Yes, that will be in the show notes.
Yeah, and just a couple of quick things about it that we do ask you to put down a $197 deposit to hold your seat, and we will refund that $197 to you when you show up. And so, there's a lot that I can say to you. I have some special bonuses for you when you save your seat. And, if you have any questions about it, also just feel free to reach out to us on the Thrive Academy Facebook page or go ahead and go to our website and start a chat. We are happy to answer any questions that you have, but it would be our absolute honor if you would join us at the Client Attraction Summit.
Yes. And definitely also follow Thrive Academy on Instagram. And you guys have a Facebook group called, what is it?
Coaches and holistic practitioners who change the world.
Yeah. And there's a lot of fun value that Sharla and Jesse share in there too. So there are great resources, but I cannot stress enough, if you've been enjoying this conversation at all, if you are someone who's on a mission to change the world and you know that your mission-driven work is meant to reach people, and for whatever reason, it's not reaching enough people right now, go to the summit. Go to the summit. It is both the business acumen that you require to succeed in that industry, this industry, and it is also the personal growth and transformation that will allow you to step into that leadership that you want to be embodying. So go, go, go. Definitely go. I will hope to see you there. Sometimes I'm still at the summit because I love it so much. But yeah, I just want to say thank you again, Sharla, for showing up in your own life to ask those big questions, to do the work, to actually learn what people need and to find the skills that are repeatable that we can come in and master and actually get results with, because there are so many resources out there and there are so many experts saying this is the thing. And I feel like Thrive really meets people where they are and getting the resources that they need to run their business, not to run some cookie cutter version of a business, so that we can all be authentic and actually show up as ourselves and be successful in that. So I'm so grateful that I found y'all. I definitely am a better person because of the growth and the breakthroughs that I've had in Thrive. And I know that me rocking my business is partly me putting in a whole lot of work to get to where I am. And it's partly also that I had a support system and resources that are actually effective. And that's a lot thanks to you guys. So I'm super grateful.
Well, it's been such an honor to be a part of your journey and watching you grow and show up as a leader in the community and get so many resources because of your, full in involvement and like really playing full out. So it's really an honor to be here, Molly, and thank you for sharing with us with your community.
Yeah.
And thank you for rocking it and just being like another another amazing transformational leader that's out there as a result of the work that we do here at Thrive.
Thank you. And I like to ask this question before we sign off. Are there any last words of wisdom that you just want to leave people with?
Mm. Yeah, I think that one of the most important things is to really, when looking for a mentor, to find someone that really aligns with your values. In the beginning, when Jesse and I started back in 2002, is when I launched my coaching and acupuncture practice and just kind of trying to figure things out on my own. And then going and finally finding some business coaches and mentors that were out there. It was hard sales, sleazy, like used car salesmen, blah. The tactics were just like, I couldn't do them. They were not right for me. And we had to translate everything that we learned into something that we could do. It's part of how we invented the systems that we have. We're just translation, 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 and like download and like tuning into our guides and our inherent wisdom about like what just felt natural and normal in conversation or in like inviting people to things. But I don't want you to have to do all that work. So whoever it is that you decide to work with, just make sure that there's real alignment with your values and that they're, that you're really getting a system and a framework that you need with like proven templates and the deep transformation, like you've got to work with somebody that understands that launching a business is not just a, hey, yeah, a cookie cutter thing, just follow these steps, that they have to be willing to get you as you move through all of those things that are in the way of you being able to deeply relate and connect with other humans and not feel guarded. We all have trauma, right? Like we all have stuff that happened to us that has us be afraid to connect with other people. And so just to have somebody that's got that level of nuance and sophistication and understanding what it means to be human to guide you through your process is so deeply important. So it's a spiritual journey you're taking on when you want to grow a business. And so to fully embrace that it's not just the practical, but there is like the personal growth that happens and the spiritual growth that happens as a result of that journey. So like, I hope you'll say yes to yourself and go on that ride.
Yes. Yes, yes, yes. Do it. And yeah, the summit is coming up in September.
Yeah, the next one's September 17th through 19th. And if you can't make that one, just send us a note and we'll see if we can get you in a future one.
Okay, cool. I'm super grateful for you. I'm super grateful for everyone listening out there. Thank you so much for tuning into this episode. I know we went maybe a little bit over time than normal, but hopefully you got a ton out of it. And definitely go to giftfromthrive.com/wildhearts. That's wild hearts with an S. And whatever happens, keep asking big questions and taking bold action because you are here for a reason.